Hey man, this is Robbie. Shop's pretty much done. So now I can start working on my AE86 that I picked up recently. Kind of make it a street slash track race car. I have no plans with it. I'm just gonna go with the flow. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and go through the car and see what it's gonna need. I think it's gonna need a lot of body work, restoration. There's a lot of rust. It's, you know, like a 30-year-old car. I think it's like an 84 or something like that. So it's an earlier model. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the car. It came with different wheels, but I had to pull them off because it wasn't holding air. It's orange. It looks good when I'm filming it, but it's actually kind of a not so good paint job. So most likely probably have to strip it. It used to be red, then it went black, and then now it went orange. So hopefully I can get it down so it can become an original red again or something close to that. I like everything matched up. Some of the undercoating is taken out. Some of it isn't, so I'm going to go ahead and have to do that. Change the seat out. It's beat up. I think it's got a Momo steering wheel, but I doubt it is because look at how much these knockoff wheels, the flex on the wheel. That's pretty crazy, amazing. There's a couple of gauges, old school gauges. Dash is all cracked up. I have a cover for that. I do still have a lot of AE86 parts that I'll be replacing a lot of the parts with. I think most likely this car is going to need cleaning and restoring and just trying to bring it back to how it's supposed to look. Probably try to cage it, maybe just like a 4-point or something. Inside the trunk, it doesn't look so bad, but when you start looking at it carefully, oh, yuck. Oh, disgusting. Disgusting rust. So I'm gonna have to probably cut all that out and probably put some kind of sheet metal on it. The good part about this car is it runs. It's registered, so I can actually, it already has plates on it. So I figured that I should get a car with it already being registered, or I'm gonna let it sit and not work on it. So it's more for my motivation. In order for me to change this to 11 front end, I'm gonna have to take the flip up headlights off. Bumper and the hood and the fender and all that, they're going to be different, but I'm gonna have to change all that anyways with something fiberglass, something lightweight. This car has some kind of headers. It has some slight steering mods and stuff too, but I'm gonna go ahead and change that back to a mild one because this will actually be a drift car, but at the same time it's not going to be like a full-on track car too. I want to be able to drive it around every once in a while too. Well, let me go ahead and put it on a lift. I had to change the front suspension out already to what I've been using before. I have roll center adjusters, and this has like some kind of knuckles, but I'm probably gonna have to change it over to another one. And also it looks like there's an extended lower arm, and they did like some kind of lock kit so that there's an indentation on the lower arm so the knuckle or the tie rod won't hit it. It has a manual rack. It's a T50 tranny. It's got pillow ball tension rods already. Big ass dent on the oil pan. Looks like someone trying to jack up the car from the oil pan, but oof. There's some rust right there, and it looks like it's opening up here. So probably gotta weld that shut. Check the other side. Yeah, there's some rust over here too. Or the rocker panel, or the kick panel, or whatever they're called. But to be honest, oof. Ran over something here. But to be honest, it's not that bad, I guess. Rust wise, I mean, there's a lot of surface rust. Probably got to go over, but yeah. So it's got a blue lateral rod, TRD shocks. It's got some kind of springs. I think I'm gonna change the springs out too because I want to lower the car a little bit more too. Stainless mesh brake hose. And man, when you're used to looking at exhausts like on turbo cars that are like 80 pi, 100 pi exhaust, this is, I think, a 50 pi. So I could actually put my fingers around it. It's that skinny. But I mean, the car is only 1600 cc. I guess you don't really need so much. Okay, so I'm going to start on the back side of it. I'm going to take the rear bumper off and these over fenders off too to see what I am looking at. I don't know what they used, but I think they used like some kind of Bondo or epoxy or something. It doesn't look like they welded it either. So I think they just used some sealer or something so it doesn't get any water inside, but I guess I'll just cut some of it off, make me a more clean cut. Go ahead and get the rear bumper off. The rust on the back here, you can see. Hey, out here. And I asked my good friend Kaicho about this piece because I know he knows all about Corollas and what's left and what's not left, but I guess they don't make this piece anymore. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut it off. This is pretty much not doing anything for the chassis. I mean, I guess it's kind of a brace for it to be back here, but I don't need it. I'm just gonna cut it off. But the only thing is the band for the fuel tank is welded in between here. So what I'd have to do something with that so I don't have to worry about the fuel tank falling off, or even get a different fuel cell. But for now, I'll just keep it plain and simple, try to keep it as stock as possible. I'll just cut all this rust out and weld a piece here. Don't forget to use your safety goggles. Now all that rusty stuff is gone. So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do to hold the tank up. Meanwhile, I'll probably just bungee cord it or do something for now. And man, maybe it's just a good idea to just cut all this out and just put new piece of sheet metal over it. Oh, so all that cutting, so I'll cut out. So I gotta make a piece of panel that goes over this, probably a little bit bigger, and I'll make it so that it's detachable. Iwata's here to supervise. He's like, you should cut straighter. I was like, you know what? It's my car, so it's okay.
That's so waving.
So I cut this piece out. I'm gonna try to see if I could fit that in. And before I weld on this little plate that I cut out, I'm gonna go ahead and spray some primer underneath where the metal is gonna cover, because I don't want it to rust. Or this part. Hold on. Okay. Now that I am done cutting that little piece out, now it's almost like stock. The welds aren't really pretty, but I'm gonna go ahead and go over it with sealer or something. So for now, I went on and put some primer on it so it doesn't get rusty. You can check that out. POS, piece of beep seal. I'm going to get started. All right, kind of done. Just gotta wait for it to dry off. So meanwhile, I'm gonna go ahead and put the fiberglass trunk on just to fit it. So here's my fiberglass trunk. It's like a generic brand, but let me go ahead and install this. It's so light compared to the stock. Go ahead and put it on here. I don't know about the keyhole. Need to figure out what I'm gonna do with that, but for now I just want to go ahead and install it. Let me line up the washers for now to the stock. That's kind of easy. Put it on. Lines up pretty good. Need the latch on there so it'll hold the trunk up, but I might take this sideways springs thing, the spring things out for the trunk, because the trunk is super light and it's like I can shoot things off of it. And let's test fit. Bam. Fits in there perfect. We're gonna put rib in this little panel that I got. I already drew up a design how I want it. I don't know what it's called in English, but yeah, we're gonna crease it so that it's gonna look cooler. So it's not just a normal panel. So this is Komatsu's. I don't have it, but he had it, so I was like, hey, can I borrow it? And also, I didn't never done this before, so he's gonna teach me how to use it. じゃあこれを、これは、あら、閉める？うん。こっち側か。いくよ。ブーン。お、なってるね。うん、いいね。OK。壁が切れた。でもいいじゃん。あ、いいじゃん。ちょっと乗せてみようか。So, bam. Looks alright. Looks decent. Gotta get painted and gotta weld these little pieces where there's a hole in it, but ありがとう。Alright. So you gotta get one of these. The rivet nut in there, in the nutter. In this hole. And just gotta squeeze the crap out of it. Done. Alright, so after all the bolting and the drilling and all that other stuff, it's all finished. It's pretty sturdy. I just got to get like something to go around the edges so it's not sharp. Alright, well, thanks for watching. That was the rear end repair for my AE86 with all the rust. I will be moving on. Probably try to get the trunk, inside the trunk painted. Take the sound deadening out inside the car, do a Levin swap for the front end, and start doing more body work and getting rid of more of the rust. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe, and also if you liked it, hit the like button, and make sure you stay safe. And until I see you guys next time, peace out.